Hey there, friends and enemies. JoPa here again, and Bungie just dropped the newest state of the game called Lightfall in the Year Ahead from Joe Blackburn, the game director. I'm very excited. We already know about a ton of the changes coming to Lightfall itself. Now we're going to take a look at beyond that as well, and I'm always excited about these, to dive into these with you guys, kind of get my firsthand reaction to when I read the changes coming, because there's always so many nuggets of information that people, myself included, tend to miss, but there's also a lot to get really, really excited about. So, essentially, they talk about Lightfall being in our hands in a couple weeks. They've gotten good with the consistency and quality of content coming to Destiny 2. I agree with that. Witch Queen was really good. Season of Seraph was really solid end to the year, in my personal opinion. A lot of good quality changes. So, Destiny can sometimes feel too predictable. I absolutely agree with that. While some consistency is necessary for us to be able to regularly update the game and prevent players from having to relearn Destiny every 3 months, as well as maintain team health and sustainability, makes sense. It is clear too much predictability has created a lack of surprise. I think that's vital that they acknowledge that, and I'm excited to see how that changes going forward. So, the issues laid out in front of us, we created 4 big goals. Expand players' imaginations, bring challenge back to Destiny, enrich our content, connect our guardians. All very good things. So expand our players' imaginations. Major update to get the gears inside our players' heads turning on what's new and what it means for the way to interact with the game. For me personally, I love coming back to Destiny. Say I take a couple weeks off to play a different game and diving in, and there's something new, fresh, and exciting to check out. So next season is Season of Defiance. While most of this content was wrapped up before the new goals put in place, we still have numerous seasonal quality of life changes with substantial iterations of our current model. Doing away with Umbra engrams and Umbros and Umbra energies as well, which is good. I think there's been just too much going on at any given time. If you want to focus an engram into a particular season weapon or armor, all you need is Glimmer and a seasonal engram. Seasonal engrams will be stored or tracked on seasoned vendors, much like we see with the Lord Shaxx or Zavala currently, all that kind of stuff. So that's very interesting. This looks sick, actually. This armor is fire. I think this is Season of Defiance armor, but I'm a big fan of that. That looks awesome. We won't be asking you to hold large sacks of seasonal currency to unlock the chest at the end of every seasonal activity. Good. Instead, we will be dropping keys that allow you to extract better rewards from the chest at the end of a seasonal activity. Good. This will create a simpler relationship where you know that if you have even one key, you're getting even better rewards. Also represents repositioning of these chests as true bonuses, not requirements. Good. Again, I like that. I like that quite a bit. On top of these changes in Season Defiance, players will expect fewer total vendor upgrades, with each individual upgrade being more potent and some upgrades even offering a variance on the way you interact with seasonal activity. We're also taking a big stab at the way we name our various progression systems and currencies. We want any player to read the name of something and immediately understand what it does. In short, spend more time playing, less time trying to understand what they're supposed to do. Good. I think that's good. The new player experience has been lacking a little bit, and some of these seasonal activities have been part of the problem. So they named the next season. So we're getting Season of Defiance and then Season of the Deep. That definitely has to do with the Hive, by the way. With some time under our belt to react to recent feedback, Season of the Deep will not feature a vendor upgrade paradigm. The same will be true for the following season. Okay. That doesn't mean we'll never see one again, but instead means we want to create more varied experimental frameworks. Good. This variety will also extend into the type of content players experience and the moment-to-moment gameplay. I've been saying this for a long time. Both Season of the Deep and Season 22, the team is pushing the envelope to create more fresh activity experiences, like when we first unveiled Shattered Realm or debuted Battlegrounds. Good. I've been saying whether it's just a horde mode or something, it just needs a shake-up for sure. We want to cast a wide net when it comes to the themes and fantasies, such as cowboys, Reapers, Pirates, etc. I like that as well, especially with the armor sets. The armor sets have been very good because of that. These stories, progressions, and themes aren't the only way we think we can stretch our player imagination. Some of this is going to come from putting a new system in Destiny 2 or revisiting systems that aren't quite hitting the mark. We have Guardian ranks. They've already detailed this. No longer will the number next to your nameplate be a representation of how much you grinded the past season pass. Instead, it'll be a representation of our experience as a guardian and the challenges you faced and overcame. Good. Weapon crafting. You're going to want a killer set of weapons for these challenges. We found that the route to getting these weapons crafted can be too random. Okay. So they want to create independent chases for both crafted and non-crafted items, starting with Lightfall. Fewer of our total weapons will be craftable, and more of our weapons with long-term sources will get value from random perks. I kind of like that. I know some people want more crafted weapons, but I'm fine with a good, healthy mix. To allow these non-crafted weapons to stand toe-to-toe with crafted weapons in Lightfall, in the year of Lightfall and more of our non-crafted weapons, starting with new raid adepts this year, will have the ability to be enhanced. Good. Again, crafted weapons are just better because they can get enhanced. You get a momentum, all that kind of good stuff. Enhancing will allows your dropped weapon to start leveling up using mementos and getting access to both enhanced perks. So basically, you can farm for your perfect god roll and then enhance it from there. That's fire. I like that a lot. With some time and resources, enhancing allows you to take random rolled weapons you obtain and enhance as existing roll and match your full power of crafted weapon. Good. We're targeting to roll this out initially with Lightfall Adepts at the launch of Season of the Deep. Long term, we want to expand this functionality to most of our non-crafted weapons. But there are some technical hurdles. Okay, hopefully that comes into place, but I think that's a good change. For crafted weapons, we will have additional changes planned. You will never see a deep sight on a weapon unless it's something you need to make a pattern progress on. Good, I like that. And then targeting Season of the Deep, we will also be adding a mechanism to activate deep sight on any craftable weapon they do not have a pattern for. Okay. Interesting. Finally, we want to tackle one more thing out of game to help with our goal of expanding player imagination, and that's giving our players a little more of a sneak peek into releases before they hit the servers. So while some of our releases this year will be kept secret until they hit the players' machines, others like Season of the Deep will preview and share key details ahead of time. I think that's fine. I like the hype building in advance, but I understand why they would keep things a little bit more secretive as well. Bringing challenge back to Destiny, we could have all the variety in the world, and that wouldn't much matter if there weren't also making the content the players spend the most time engaging and interesting. So that makes sense. I do like Heist Battlegrounds. I feel like that was a good kind of balance. So, and I feel like they were definitely testing things with the heist for sure. We spent a lot of time bringing our subclass up to Stasis 3.0 standard. During that time, our abilities become more powerful, but the synergy with weapons and gear raise the total power tied for all boats. Yeah, that's true. So the result of these changes is more compelling RPG, but at times lower level, challenging, even in like standard Vanguard playlists and the like. Bringing challenge back to Destiny requires two-pronged approach. If we just tuned our enemies across the game, we would start to encounter issues where combatants frequently one-shot and it would feel super spongy, which they don't want to do. Makes sense. So instead of focusing on just one vector, we're going to take a measured approach. So let's start with player toolkit. They already kind of announced that they're reducing cooldowns across the board, so that makes sense. Moderately, it's not going to be too crazy. I think you're still going to have crazy cracked builds, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. We notice that enemy combatants just aren't hitting as hard as we want them to, especially against max resilience, so we're adjusting the amount of damage resistance granted by resilience and increasing the energy cost of resilience mods from 1 to 2 for minor mods and 3 to 4 for major mods. Okay, yeah, so basically making it harder to have max resilience and making resilience not matter as much. I think that's good. With the build crafting updates, we believe great builds will be much more accessible to the community. And while we still want your gear and your mods to be critical, some of the buffs to Guardian's damage and survivability were just a bit too strong. Yep. Now, I know those last paragraphs might be scary to read, but we don't think these changes are going to be a big swing in the balance. Yeah, everything that I've read means that you're just going to have to adjust the way you do things, and you're still going to have the same kind of rotations for your builds, just in a new way to handle them. So you're still going to be the ultimate monster killing machine. So I agree. Plus, Strand is probably going to be super strong when it drops. Promised two-sided approach. Let's talk about how things shake up with enemy difficulty. Recently, we've been happy with the level of challenge present in the base heist battlegrounds. So yeah, I agree with that. I think that makes it a little bit more compelling. You're not just blowing through everything and you don't have to think about your build or anything like that. So we were pretty aggressive in the adjustment in Season Seraph and it produced great results. So the base battlegrounds plays in Season Defiance, we use the same settings. Good. Carrying this approach over, we were going to be adjusting the same difficulty to it in Vanguard Ops. I like that as well. But we want to use this setting to make Vanguard Ops a bit more engaging to the average Guardian. So basically, a little harder, but not quite as hard as Heist Battlegrounds, which again isn't that hard, but it's a good kind of base level. This is also going to be present when players are roaming around Neomuna, and we don't want to have the entire game feel like it's 2.11. We think the change will help enemy forces patrolling Neomuna feel dangerous and worth your attention. I think that's good. I think the new location should feel hard and difficult to explore right off the bat. So they're experimenting with power settings. We're planning to taking on even more experiments this year. We think there's some major issues with power in Destiny 2 and how it prevents players from seeking some of its best content. Big changes coming in final shape. Tweaking power settings over the year of Lightfall. Some of these tweaks might be found in our back end with little transparency, while others are front center. For example, when Lightfall launches, we'll have a power climb very similar to Witch Queen, but in Season of the Deep, we don't plan on it to raise a power or pinnacle cap at all. I think that's good. I think the power grind is kind of dated at this point and not really necessary.